So, we're going to do a meditation practice that involves learning to be more focused using the sensations of the breathing. So, as always, setting ourselves up with a posture that will help us to be alert and attentive and present and also confident. So, finding a way to sit where your back is naturally upright, the chest is open and expansive, the heart is open. You can breathe freely, but also making sure that the body is relaxed and that you're letting go of any unnecessary tensions in the body. Just acknowledging briefly our overall experience, including the light and space and sounds around you, and just letting those be there. And beginning to be more aware now of sensations arising from within the body. You can let your attention wander through the body from the toes up to the crown of the head, doing a kind of body scan. Or you can take a more holistic approach where you simply relax your attention. And in doing this, you can physically allow the eyes to soften and just being aware of the whole body at the same time. All the different sensations that are arising from soles of the feet up to the top of the head. And when you're aware of your body in this latter way, it's less detailed than doing a body scan, and that's okay. It's just a different approach. And just making any minor adjustments to your posture that you think might be necessary. Noticing any areas of tension and seeing if you can soften. And noticing also the quality of attention that you're bringing to your experience right now. What's the quality of the mind? Is it a little hard and driven, which often happens? Or are you feeling more relaxed and playful? Now beginning to notice, in particular, sensations connected with the breathing. And often when I talk about paying attention to the breathing, people think of the breath. the actual air that's flowing in and out of the body. But the breathing is much more than that. It's all of the physical sensations in the body connected with the breathing process. So you can experience the breathing in the abdomen, the sides of the abdomen, the lower back, the front and the sides and the back of the chest. You can notice the breathing in your musculature, the movements of bones, the rib cage and the spine, movements of joints. You can notice the breathing in your skin, on the skin all over the upper body at least. You can notice the breathing deeper inside the body, where the diaphragm is moving, creating a pattern of pressure and release in the abdomen. You can be aware of the breathing in the passageways, the nose, throat, chest. You can notice the breathing on your shoulders, your arms, your hands, possibly even in the hips and the legs. And for the next few minutes, I suggest that you particularly pay attention to what happens as you breathe out. Noticing the qualities of the exhalation. So you might notice things like a sense of letting go, a sense of relaxation on each out breath, perhaps a sense of pleasure accompanying this. You might notice downward movements. You might notice emotionally a sense of relief, perhaps contentment. You might notice that the mind is a little more calm as you breathe out. So just paying attention to all of that and anything else that you notice for the next 2 or 3 minutes. And if you notice that the mind has been wandering, just accepting that this happens. It's quite natural, happens to us all. Just appreciating the fact that you have come back to mindful awareness again, and you have the opportunity to begin again in this moment, paying attention to what happens as you breathe out. And now just letting go of that focus on the out breathing, and just noticing all of the sensations of the breathing once again. And then beginning to notice what happens in particular as you're breathing in. So you might notice things like the body rising and expanding, a sense of coolness because of the air you're breathing in, a sense of this being refreshing and energizing. Your experience might feel a little brighter on the in breaths. You might once again feel a sense of pleasure, but with a more energetic quality than you experience on the out breath. And you might also, this is quite common, notice a greater tendency to become distracted in thought as you breathe in. So just making sure that you're staying rooted, you're keeping your attention rooted in the sensations of the breathing. And once again, if you find that the mind has been wandering in thought, just being aware of the fact that you have come back to mindfulness. The mind naturally does this. So be appreciative of that as you bring your attention back to the sensations in the body, and in particular to the sensations that arise as you breathe in. And once again, letting go of this emphasis on paying attention to the in breathing and simply noticing the breathing as a whole. And now I suggest that you begin to notice that the breathing in reality is not divided into in breaths and out breaths in any absolute way. Instead, there's a constant flow of sensation. So you can notice how an in breath rises, the body reaches a sense of fullness, and there are sensations of fullness. The body begins to empty as you breathe out. The lungs become emptied of air, body is empty, but there's still sensation. And this turns back into an in breath again. So just noticing how moment by moment by moment there are always sensations of the breathing. And just checking in to make sure that you're paying attention to many sensations of the breathing and not just one or two. So you can be open to any and all of the sensations that I mentioned at the beginning of this period of practice. So seeing if you can find a kind of sweet spot that arises where you're paying attention to so many sensations that the mind becomes calm. There's just no room in your attention for thinking. And yet you're not paying attention to so many things that you feel stressed. And when thoughts do arise, they become a kind of mindfulness bell, gently reminding you that you've let your attention drift away from the breathing and that you're no longer paying attention to many different sensations of the breathing. So each thought that arises is a reminder to come back to experiencing the fullness of the breathing. And if right now you're paying attention to many sensations of the breathing, I'm going to ask that you start to narrow the sphere of your attention. So you might be paying attention right now to most of the body. I'm going to suggest that you narrow that sphere of awareness to the upper chest, the throat, and sensations arising in the head. So you're just appreciating in particular those parts of the body as you breathe in and out. Still noticing this continuous flow of sensations. And now noticing in particular sensations in the throat and the head. And then narrowing the sphere of your awareness down to just the head. The sensation of air flowing through your passageways, your airways, as you breathe in and out. And then beginning to notice just the sensations in the nostrils. Cooler air flowing up, warmer air flowing down. Still sensing this as a continuous, unbroken flow of sensations. And then letting your attention settle, if you can, on the sensations on the rims of the nostrils. This boundary between the inside and the outside of the body. Just letting everything else drop away. And then beginning to broaden the sphere of your awareness again. So becoming aware of all of the sensations in the airways inside the head, including now the throat, the upper chest, the whole of the chest, front, back, sides, including the abdomen now. Again, the front, the back, the sides. Noticing the whole of the body. Everything from the soles of the feet up to the crown of the head. Noticing how you're feeling right now. What's the overall tone of your experience? Pleasant? Unpleasant? Neutral? Are you content? Or is there anything troubling you? Is your mind busy or quiet? Sleepy or alert? Is it focused narrowly or is it open and relaxed? And just acknowledging all these things without judgment. And then becoming aware or more aware of the world around you. Once again, the light and the space and the sounds, the physical contact your body is making with your seat, with the floor, with the air around you. Then we can continue this process of bringing our mindful awareness into the world by beginning to move the body slowly and mindfully, and by allowing the eyes to open.